Today, we are going to see what happened in episode 2 of Dr. Brain on Apple TV+. Get subscribed and turn on the bell notification to get notified whenever a new episode is out. We begin with Suwon awakening to find himself in bed with Jae and Doyeon. What starts as an idealistic dream soon turns into a nightmare as Doyeon heads outside with Katmika. Jae demands Suwon stay where he is, as she screams at him. This house soon dissolves into a bloody nightmare, as Suwon sees his wife crying and somehow old again while standing in a pool of blood. Ripping the headset off, Suwon returns from her memories back into the real world. Now, it would seem that brain syncs on living patients is possible after all, but highly unpredictable. At their worst, it's outright dangerous. Suwon decides to set out and find another way of bringing Doyeon back to him. Deciding to take a day off from work, Suwon instead is confronted by Susuk and Sergeant Park at home. Given Jae tried to commit suicide in the past, they press Suwon on why he never mentioned anything. They even query whether Suwon killed his own wife. As we know that's not the case, and in a bid to prove them wrong, Suwon nonchalantly leads them into the basement where Jae is. This relieves the pressure on him for now, but the subject of Jun Ki Lim's murder is still very much prevalent. During his investigation, Suwon continues to experience flashes of the past, including that relating to Sarah Children's Clinic. Along for the ride during this tumultuous time is Lee Kangmu, whom Suwon meets that evening and strikes up an uneasy partnership with. Kangmu knows all about Suwon's past, including the fire at his house. "It's my job to know," he shrugs, reinforcing his PI credentials. Together, they ride up toward Jun Ki's house and begin looking around. There's some pretty gnarly flashes that ensue, as Suwon sees red, quite literally, and sees visions of him being stabbed several times from Jun Ki's perspective. Kangmu helps calm our protagonist down and questions Suwon over what he knows. Suwon is struggling though, with memories floating around that he can't be sure are actually his own. However, he does deduce that certain objects and items seem to heighten his senses. Over in the autopsy lab, Sergeant Park and Susuk reinforce what we've found out, that Jun Ki was stabbed numerous times. Interestingly though, a hole in the man's head post-mortem hints towards some sort of surgeon being responsible. A brain surgeon perhaps? Like Suwon? Meanwhile, Suwon heads into Heejin's bedroom, off the back of his earlier idea about jogging memories. Within a box under her bed he finds an address. However, outside he finds Mika, dead but still warm. So naturally Suwon decides to brain sync with the creature. Wait, what? How does that work? Anyway, we'll just go with it. Suwon heads back to the lab and encourages Jun Ki to leave him as the lab is a restricted area. Leaving the car, Kangmu gets back to chasing up his contacts and digging deeper into Jun Ki's death. The brain sync goes off without a hitch, better than that with Jae. Despite him mentioning it was dangerous, Suwon eventually wakes up on the floor after seeing flashes of Mika's memories. Regardless of the visual and auditory systems for felines and humans being different, not to mention the brains being completely different too, Suwon deduces that the images he experienced are frazzled and may not be completely accurate. However, Suwon's reflexes are certainly a lot better now, and he even catches a ball out the blue. He starts to see the world differently, more sharp and defined through his experiences with Mika. He deduces that cat traits seem to have been transferred onto him. Is Suwon due to be a sworn enemy of Catwoman? Either way, the flashes bring up a license plate, which he relays onto Susuk at headquarters. 05-2046. Interestingly, this brings up a police academy graduate by the name of Kangmu Lee. The same Kangmu Lee whom Suwon is currently working with. When Susuk rings Suwon and lets him know, she reveals a startling truth. Kangmu actually died 4 days ago before Jun Ki's death. Thanks for watching till the end, do like and leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.